Welcome back to Better Kansas City. Relationships can be challenging. The one between a parent and a child can have a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes there can be a disconnect with an adult child. Dr. Kerry Dixon, aka Dr. Mom, is here with advice on how to begin fixing that broken relationship. So let's just start off. Whose responsibility is it to begin mending that relationship once it's kind of gone south? I mean, I think I'll tell you how I feel about it, because I feel like if I'm the one that maybe caused it, which typically I feel like I am, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. That's a question for another time. Who should go around trying to start mending that problem?
Well, let me mend myself after Molly Balloons, okay? Let me do that first, okay?
Boy, Molly is just
exactly.
on another level today, isn't she?
Well, but that's okay, because that's part of people, accepting people for who they are, loving who they are. And when it's your kid, people expect you to automatically just go with it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have parents that are kind of looking at themselves thinking, what did I do?
Yeah,
oh my
where did
goodness,
I go wrong?
where did I go wrong? But as the kid, and I say kid, openly, as the child in the relationship, it is not necessarily your responsibility. You ask whose responsibility it is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you want a relationship, you be intentional on building that relationship. If mom or dad, and people always say mom and daughter. What about dad and son, mom and son? But be intentional. A lot of times people, think about this, we're intentional at work, in those relationships, you're intentional in your marriage.
Sure.
Okay, what about being intentional in the relationship with your kid, or your kid being intentional in that relationship? So you're thinking about it. You're making a point to have a relationship.
Sure. Here's another question I have, and I find myself feeling guilty a lot because I don't feel like I spend as much time, or maybe the quality time that I should, with my kids, right? So how do I prevent myself from feeling that guilty? Because I'm trying my best, right? And is that how a lot of people feel, like they're trying their best, but they still feel guilty about maybe not spending as much time? Or
make time.
Make time.
And again, when I talk about being intentional, think about this. You make time to do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think about the relationship with the adult child and the parent. The parent is aging. And then the adult child gets into this, I'm busy, I have a life, I'm with my kids, you're doing those things. But make time to do something with your adult parents. So think about it like this. What would you want your kid to do as they grow up and they become adults? You don't want them to be so engrossed into their own lives that they don't make time or have time for you. But then as the adult parent, you also need to understand that they have a life. So it's a balance. It's really balancing, but it's being intentional about doing those things and not thinking that, oh, this too will pass, or I'll see you tomorrow, or whenever. Just kind of do something. And as the adult, also teaching yourself not to feel guilty. Because even having small kids, your kids can say, Daddy, you don't do, or Daddy, I need you to. And you have to stop and think and say, hold on, I'm not going to allow myself to be manipulated into what I should or shouldn't be doing.
Well, let's flip the script a little bit and talk about being that older adult parent. How do I work through, or how do they work through their emotions in dealing with their adult kids? Not dealing with it, but just going through the steps to plan a date together, to go spend some time together.
Be a listener. You have to listen to what they're doing, listen to their life, know them as a person, and then think about what you want to do with them, but make sure it works for them. Make sure that you're actually having a relationship and communicating where you listen to one another, you know what the interests are. Because again, we're getting into the holiday season. And every time we get into buying gifts, or people want to spend time with their family, do you even really know them?
And there's always seems like the holiday season is ripe for problems to spring up. So I think that's a great tip for anybody, is just take the step back, listen, and maybe just not be, just take that time to listen instead of just jumping forward with whatever comes out of your mouth, right? That can maybe prohibit those troubles from coming along altogether.
And don't let yourself, don't allow yourself to feel guilty. You did and are doing the best you can do.
That's right.
And so you look forward and stop looking back at what you wish you had done differently.
All right, she is Dr. Mom, and she is smarter than me. Thank you, Dr. Mom. We appreciate it.